Okay, so today class will be short and sweet, right? Let's make it short and sweet. And in this one, what we're going to learn is, okay, let me create a project folder first. Okay, so this will be, let's call it animation, right? This is not a really animation, but why not we start with some kind of project, right? What is the folder name here? 1 2 3 6 12, right? Let's call it 12.project, something like that, right? So simply, as always, we're going to start with index page, index.html. Oh, my mic is here, right? You guys maybe not hearing. Okay, sorry about that. So index.html, then we're going to add CSS. So style, right? Style.css, and link the CSS in our index page. So exclamation, right? Always. Let's call it background and animation, right? Okay. So how we link, right? Link and see relation, right? Style sheet. Before I was, I just remembered the JavaScript type, Okay, so style sheet, and then our style sheet is /style.css. Okay. Once we finish with this, normally what we do, right? We can add the reset button here. Okay, reset, not button, but let's say reset property, right? How? By applying star and applying margin to 0. Reset means what? If there is any default setting in the browser or margin padding, right, it will make it to 0. Okay, so it will be 0 along the any browser, right? If the browser, that is a browser is like our host, right? Basically our, what you call that, place where you display. So different browser has different settings. Okay, so we don't want our website looks different in different locations, right? So normally we start with the reset of our browser setting. Okay, that is margin 0, padding 0. So if browser have any settings, it will be, our whole stuff will be reset to 0. And box sizing, border box. Okay, all right, so that is the general resetting. We have, remember, we have the reset CSS also, right? You can apply. Okay, means in our GitHub, remember, I told you last time also, you can just copy the reset from there and apply to your project. Just make a reset style.css and connect that one, and that will work, right? So next one, what I want to do, right, I want to take one example, simple example. But before, let's start with the background. Okay, background image. So in my heading one, I will put simple heading one, right? Let's call it tour and travel, right? Hope that is okay. Tour and travel, is that okay? Okay, now I want to put one image, right? img tag, or for now, let's keep the image out. Let's make a one button also, right? And visit again, something like that, simple. Okay, so for our purpose, right, what we need is there will be header, main, but in the body, right, what I want to do is apply a background color in the whole body. Okay, basically background image. I want to show you how you're going to apply background and then add some blend mode like color, also blend it together. That will be the one property we're going to learn. And the next one is how to animate some stuff, right? So that is the second one. Okay, so first start with the body, right? I will select body, and I'm going to apply the background in all over the page, right? All over the page. Okay, so I need an image. So let's Okay, so I have 12, right? That will be not good, but anyway, I'll change that later. I need an image folder. I'll just put one image here. So let's see if I can find image from here from last time, right? There was a design or some images. So desktop, what is this? Okay, I will just take these two images for now, right? Copy this and bring to our project, right? Image. Okay. So the body, let's put a background. What is that? Background image, correct? And then you have URL, right? URL. So in here, see, same thing, right? In the same project folder, if you do dot backslash, it will display all the folder and file. You select image, and for now let's select desktop, right? Desktop one. Okay. So if you go live view now, what's gonna happen? It displays the page. It looks something like this, right? See? The page looks something like this, right? Yeah, it's just on the bottom. See, maybe you want these things on the top, right? The lining here you want on the top. So we can position it. Okay, we can position, right? When your background image, you can add some positions, background repeat and all that. So background repeat will be no repeat. Every time when you apply background, right, there are some properties along with the background. You have to include that to make sure your background is image is okay, right? I mean, it is in the perfectly size, right? And background position. So I will make it center for now, right? Center, and see how it looks. Okay, so it looks something like this now. Okay, so there is no repeat and background position is center. Yeah. So this is one thing, right? But how we can apply now, right? How we gonna apply something like a color also on the top of this? How are we gonna do that? So that's the background color now. Background color, and you want maybe, right? I don't know what color we can apply, but let's find out here, right? Something bluish color. So if I go down here and click it, let's say this one, right? It should be matching to our background, right? So let's click this. Yeah. So now, right now, you see something like this, correct? But how are you going to blend it all over the place, right? How are you going to blend that? So there is a property called background blend, right? Background. The background blend mode, okay? And you have all this, right? So normally what we do, darken, normally you just want to mix, right? So if you do darken, it get more darken, right? But the problem with this one, we have to add the opacity to our background, okay? Because this background color is complete 100% background, right? Color. You need to add some opacity, okay? And how are we gonna do that? We change basically, like a, okay, let's change this to RGB here, right? And then you put opacity to, let's make it 0.5, right? And see what happens. Something like that. Okay, you can change, like you can adjust this, right? You can make it 0.1 or 2, but we can play around with the number. Okay, let's make it 3, right? See, that image now converted something like this. Yeah, so that's how you're gonna apply background image and add background color and make a blend, right? Some kind of blending with opacity. Okay, this is the opacity, right? This is the opacity. Okay, so you can even change, right? Even if you want to change the color, you can do that. Okay, let's say you want to bring it little down, lighter, it looks something like this. You want to make it more darker, right? You increase the opacity to 4 or 5. So 1 is the 100%, right? And then 1 is the 100%, you can go below 1, like 0.9845, whatever. So you choose the right color, okay, and apply that. Okay, so that was the background. Clear, guys? Next will be, we're going to look at the transition and transformer and all that. I'll just put side by side, okay? It's too much moving, right? Let's keep it side by side. So what I will do, right, I will bring these things in the center, okay? Let's make it a div dot container, EAI container, right? I'm gonna wrap everything inside the container. I will select container now. So dot container and give a width of maybe 80%. Then width 80%. Then what else we can do? Max width, right? That's what we do always. Let's keep it consistent, and then we're gonna do what? Max width margin, right? To center it, margin 0. So top and bottom is 0, and left and right is auto for now. Okay, it's already in the center now, right? I mean, you see now. If I put some, let's put it some padding on the top, right? Padding top. Yeah, padding top 50 pixel. Just want to bring it down a little bit, okay? Okay. Okay, so now, right, I want to select this button. So let's give a, I can use this because I have only one button. Either I can select name button or I can give a class name. I'd call it btn. So let's select a btn now. Dot btn, and how you create button? By applying background color, right? Maybe background colors will be something. Let's keep it here, and then let's do white, right? I mean, you can play around with this, right? So you can add padding, okay? Padding, what will be the padding? 8 pixels, top and bottom, and left and right maybe 16. I'll make it big, right? Like that. And then cursor will be, let's not put cursor for now, right? Let's remove the border, okay? Border will be none. I don't want any border for now. And give some border radius, right? Border radius, maybe 4 pixel. 6 pixel, just a small radius, okay? Just give some curve right here on the edge. Let's make this box display box, right? Display will be not box but block. Okay, save. Now you can add margin top also, right? Margin top, because once you make the inline element block, you have access to all that margin padding to apply normal, right? So make it 50 pixels top. Yeah, so move that down, right, little bit. So what we need to learn here, right? This thing's not look good. 200%. Okay, I need to change the color. I did not like that color. So that is VISIT, right? Visit again. VISIT, visit again. Okay. So by the way, what is transform, right? There is a style called transform. Okay, transform. So let's learn about transform, right? Transform. That is the first property we're going to try to understand. Okay, so transform, how we apply that? So let's say in button, right? Here in button, you just type transform, okay? Transform. Yeah. And transform will be, there are few things maybe, right? You can look at here, rotate X, rotate Y, rotate Z, scale, so we just look at rotate, yeah, and give some angle, right? What angle you want to rotate. So that is the one. And scale, we're gonna check at scale also. So scale X, scale Y, we'll check that also. So let's, simple, right? Make it rotate, and let's make it 50-degree, right? Like that, okay? So 50-degree here. But right now, nothing happened, right? When you click, it rotate to 50-degree. But normally what we're gonna do, right? If you click, see, it just rotate, right? Once I click one time, it rotate to 50-degree, but it's not happening anything, right? So why not we add better, right? We do this on our hover effect, okay? Hover, right? He hover. Let's try this on hover, see how it looks. And we're gonna move this back here, okay? Save. So when you hover, right? See, now when you hover, it moves like that. See that? Also, when you hover, right, you want your cursor to be pointer. See, now you get like a hand, like a animation. See, okay, that's simple, right? I mean, you can do simple like that. The next one is scale, right? So this is the first one. Transform will be rotate. Let's make scale, okay? So same property, transform, and it has a property called scale, right? You can give a number. I think let's give it 3, right, and see what happens. So 3 is too big, right? See, when you bring the point cursor on the top, hover it, it is scaled down to big, right? So let's make it 1. Yeah, when you just scale to certain point, right? What happened? There is something wrong. Okay, let's put it 2. What can happen? 1 is normal, right? Yeah, so 1 is normal, and you scaling now, right? Okay, you can change maybe 1.2. Yes, a little change. So that is the scale. So I mean, sometimes you want to add some animation to your button, simple animation, you can do that. Now the point here is, right, see, this is so quick, the transition is very like a quick, right? And you don't want that. You want smooth transition always, right? So when you have something like this, you put another property in the main, right? In the main here, like in the main selector, okay? This is the hover, right? Pseudo selector, we call pseudo selector. But in the main, we're gonna have a let's say, what is the property called transition? Yeah, transition, right? Transition, okay? Now here you can apply all. So any element, right, if changing, all, it will be, make sure any element if changing the position, right, means it has some kind of transition, it must follow the it must follow the, like a timing, right? Certain time, it must take some time to transition. So let's put it 0.4 second for now, right? Okay, save this. Now look at that. Okay, so right now I'm only doing for this transform, okay, transform, right? So you can even put here transform is okay. Transform, right? So this property, that is, this transition is happening for this transform, okay? So you can just add transform 0.4 second and save this and now try, see, it's okay, it's working now, right? Fine. So you can change the speed of, if you make 8 speed, right, I think it will be a little fast, yeah, or more, very, yeah. So let's put 2. Oh, I didn't save early, right? Oh my god. Okay, save this, and now see the speed will little change. Yeah, but that is, normally 0.4 you want to see, people using. So that's like a perfect transition. Okay, so that is the transition now, right? So we learn what? We learn about scale, we learn about rotate, how you're going to do the rotate. So if I block this or comment this out, and let's open the rotate, right? Save this, and now let's try. Okay, the rotate is smooth now, right? Little bit, not like before. Okay, so sometimes, in your, let's say in the button somewhere, like where people, when you visit the site, you want some kind of like a action, right? Animation, you can just use these things. Okay, so now so we learned how to make it smooth, transform, transform is rotate and scale, right? So for now that is okay, that is enough for our requirements. The next one is what else, right? Let's say keyframe. Okay, so let's check the keyframe, right? Let's find out. Okay, so there was, okay, so this is the blend mode. I mean, you can even check here, right? So let me check the keyframe. Okay, there is a property called keyframe somewhere. Keyframe is where? That's the all CSS properties in W3, right? But I want to find keyframe. Okay, yeah, this one, right? So see how it keyframe, how it works, right? Make an element move gradually, right? 200 pixels down. So from 0 to 200 pixel, right? So if you look at here, okay, if you look at this, right, keyframe, this is the function, like a function, right? Keyframe like a function, okay? But when you learn JavaScript, right, you're gonna know function and all that, and that's the name of this keyframe, okay? This the keyframe, that's like a formula or syntax, and you give the name of your keyframe. So you can use this keyframe once you design this keyframe, right? You can use that wherever you need. Okay, so let's go to here, right? So see, it just moved 200 pixel, right? So div, the box is what? This box here, if you look at this div, right? That box is width 100 pixel, height 100 pixel, background color red, position relative, right? Relative is like normal. Okay, now animation, okay, that's the one you have to apply. Property is animation, and call the keyframe name, and then give the time and the infinite, right? Like how long it can rotate, right? How long it can animate. So that is infinite. Okay, infinite, right? Infinite. So that is one way you can apply. Correct. Now the move, my move, right? My move is here at the red keyframe, my move, and start from top 0 until top 200 pixels. So from top go 200 pixel, right? From 0, from top 0 to 200 pixel down. Okay, so that is the keyframe. Okay, that's how we apply, right? So it's selected the div here, give some CSS style, and then you add the keyframe, right? Okay, and only the thing is keyframe is here, animation, right? You're going to add in the animation. So we will do something similar. Okay, so let's go back to our projects. So in let's say we have the button itself, right? And you want to move that button. Okay, the first we need, our job is what, to create a keyframe. So let's create, normally keyframes, things like this, you can add on the top. Okay, somewhere here, right? Let's add it so you can use in any element, same style. Okay, so at the rate, we call it what, keyframe. So this will be, yeah, so this will be the keyframe. That's the, like the keyword, right? You put at the rate keyframe and the name of the keyframe. Okay, so what we can give, just call it fade in, right? Fade in, maybe. Let's give it fade in formula, right? And basically name of the keyframe is fade in. Now what I'm saying, right, I'm gonna apply the opacity. Okay, so let's say 0%. At 0%, right, it should be, the opacity should be 0, right? Okay, 0. Okay, and now let's make it at 100%, right? So this is also another way you can put the keyframe. The opacity will be maybe 1, right? Try that. And you close all this. So our keyframe is ready. So what we're gonna do, right? This is, you can use this anywhere now, right? So let's go back to our index page and look at something. Okay, I will select H1. Okay, let's add here, right? Uh, or or okay, let's add to the heading one. Okay, so let's select that heading one and give a background color, right? Background color of maybe blue, right? Or anything you can give, you know, it's okay. Let's make this and give some padding also, right? Top and bottom 12 pixel, left and right maybe 5 pixel. So it looks, let's see how it looks now. So it looks something like that, right? So let's add now opacity. Basically our keyframe style, right? So what was that? That was animation, right? Animation. Okay, the animation. Okay, so animation will be fade in, right? And then time, correct? Let's call it 1 millisecond or something like that. 1 second. Let's see what gonna happen now. Save. So it just, when you load the page, right, it just start from 0 opacity and it get here, right? 1 second. So let's make it 1 millisecond or maybe 0.4 millisecond. So very quick. So how much time I can give to make it like a slow, right? Let's see. There was second and infinite, but we don't want infinite, right? We don't want. So we can just give some basically couple of, like when the page load, right? You want some kind of animation, right? When you let's say somebody load the page, okay? So let's say 1 point or 1 millisecond. It's still too much, right? If we put that, you see now there is some animation. See, so that's how you add, right? Basically you can add some animation like that. Okay, so you just add create something similar to this. Start from like our animation. Where is that animation here? Keyframe, right? Fade in. So that's the animation name. At 0%, okay, opacity is 0, and at 100% opacity is 1, right? So the opacity of the background color, okay, it changes. See, so when page load, it will be some like a some kind of a, you know, animation. But you have to play around with this number, right? When needed, when you see something like this, it's just simply these things, right, added with different value. Okay, so even you look at here, right, already how it is created. Okay, simple, right? How it is moving. Sometimes you want to add some animation, you know, in the page, in one corner something keep moving, you know, you can use this style, right? Okay, from top to, you know, 200 pixels. So from top 0 it will go until down 200 pixel. From 2, that is whole thing, and you call that 5-second infinite, right? So let's say here, how much was there in my, I added the 1 second. Let's make it like a 5 second and see what happened, right? Or maybe more than that. So if you refresh the page, it just takes some time to load, right? Okay, so when page load, it will slowly appear, you know, from 0 opacity to the 100%, right? Okay, okay, so that was the two animations and the background and how you blend, right? So that was the all about today class. Okay guys, uh if you get chance, apply somewhere these tricks. You know, these are the, slowly you're gonna, you know, improve yourself in CSS with some couple of advanced tips and tricks. we will be keep adding always, right? I will try to bring a lot of things as we grow. I mean, as we advance, right? I will be keep adding new stuff. But these are the few things gonna make our site, better, right? In the future, when you want to add some animations, uh, I mean, this will help. Okay, so and we will be keep adding some other stuff also slowly, right? So for now, let's keep it up to here. And thank you. I'm going to stop the recording now.